Protectors of the Grid, Chapter 17. Ben looked at the figure outlined in the door and could see little change since the last time he had been here. The head was thrown back, the shoulders broad and proud, the arms across his chest protectively, his feet planted squarely. The energy he was emanating was questioning. Ben waved. "Hey!" He walked over and stood in front of the shadow, letting himself be seen in the light. He waited, then spoke again. "Hello, Papa Fox." Red Fox grunted. No one had called him that for some time now. "How you been?" Ben asked quietly. Red Fox considered, pursing his lips and scrunching his forehead. "Growing. How about you?" "I'm trying to grow. It's hard to change." Ben felt a little release inside. It felt good. Maybe honesty would end up being the best policy after all. "I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I believe." Red Fox grunted again. "Took you damn long enough to begin asking questions." He couldn't make it too easy for Ben. He needed to fight for what he would come to know, like a butterfly must fight through the cocoon for its wings to be strong enough to fly. Ben had to discover and claim it himself, and he couldn't do it with arrogance. Ben stiffened. He'd expected this. He'd rehearsed how to respond, and still his hackles were up. He caught himself on the exhale, though. "Yes, it did. And now that I'm asking, I feel really stupid." "That's because you are," scowled the old man, and turned to go back into the cabin. Tara and Charlie walked up beside Ben, eyes wide, mouths hanging open. Grace shook her head sadly and said nothing as she led them up the wooden steps into the cabin, straight back to the kitchen. Red Fox was stirring something that bubbled on top of the wood stove. He turned, still without smiling, but his face had softened. "I made stew and fry bread almost ready. Eat up, we got a lot to work out tonight." There was uneasy silence as all eyes moved around the group. Grace broke the unease. She walked over and put her arms around the old man's middle. She squeezed hard, then laid her head on his shoulder. "You are such a rough, tough marshmallow, Uncle." Everyone laughed but Uncle, but even his fierce facade seemed to soften. "It's nice of you to feed us before working us to death, but you don't have to scare the bejeebers out of poor Ben, not to mention these lovely wise women who came with him." Red Fox grunted again, but his lips twitched. He wasn't done laying it on Ben, but Grace was right as usual. If they were too scared, they would shut down. Then no messages or magic could get through. He hugged Grace back, then tilted her head so he could kiss her forehead. When he stepped back, he sighed and looked at Ben. Then he opened his arms. "Come here, boy." Ben walked awkwardly into his arms, which hugged him close for a second, before releasing him to pound his back. Then Grace took Red Fox's arm and turned him to face the others. "Uncle, this is Tara Kano and this is Charlie, or Charushila Sardana." Red Fox turned and felt the jolt of recognition. He had never seen either of these young women before, but his soul recognized their souls. Ah, allies. Old souls incarnated this time into two of the ancient traditions. He took a hand of each and squeezed it. He watched as recognition showed in their eyes too, and each squeezed his hand in return. Red Fox now felt lighter. Hours of driving and jangled nerves gave them an appetite for a second supper. During the meal, Tara and Charlie filled in the important parts of their spiritual backstory. It was a different kind of conversation, to bypass the banalities and go straight to the deep stuff, with people you barely knew. The understanding response made it worth the risk. It seemed there was an underlying alignment, an agreement about how things work, the human process of evolving into awakened living. Everyone was aligned, that is, except Ben, who could sense the easy connection between Red Fox, Tara, and Charlie. Once again, he felt odd man out and resentful. Were his friends going to abandon him now? Was that what he had expected, and did it make any difference? He didn't want to care, but the frothing anger he felt told him that he did. He might as well jump right in. "Red Fox, I need your help." Suddenly, the only sounds in the room were the hissing and crackling of the fire. Red Fox sat unmoving, the chipped ceramic mug of coffee cupped in his brown, wrinkled hands. He grunted. "Yes, I know I owe you an apology and Kachi even more." The fire spit and popped. Still no one moved. "Everything is going to go down if we don't find what we need to get the fairy mass live. You know that. I know you know that." Red Fox grunted again. Amazing how each grunt expressed so much, different from every other grunt. They were a language of their own, So what's the deal, Red Fox? How come the protos worked and the scaled-up versions don't? Did Kachi tell you? Is this something you worked out together? Is it something to do with me? Boy, who are you now? You've come to me with questions, so you're not the same Ben who ran around with Kachi, but you still got dark inside you don't want to see. It's not as dense as it was, but it's still twisting you around. Red Fox paused to search Ben's eyes. You're asking for entry to a fort you haven't promised to defend. Spirit can't trust you till you decide who you're gonna be. We're talking about the grid now, right? Red Fox rolled his eyes. All right. Ben's jaw was clenched. He rubbed his hand over his face. But, old man, I can't pretend to things that aren't real for me. I had this wonderful vision in Hawaii. I saw the grid. I felt it, at least a little. The sensations lasted for days, until I got back to the city, to ordinary life. Then I felt foolish. Ben refused to look at Tara as he spoke. If he had, he would have seen her sad nod as he confirmed what she'd been afraid was happening. When he got the courage to glance at her, she gave a sad little shrug and a sad little smile. Ben was sad too. He wanted it to be easy. I wish I could just say the right words and be done with it, but then you would probably know they were just words. Red Fox quirked an eyebrow. Ben continued, I don't know what to do. He hid his face in his hands, then spoke through his fingers. Red Fox, what should I do? Red Fox waited until Ben put his hands down and sat up straight. You rejected your first vision. What makes you think having another will make any difference? Red Fox leaned forward until his nose was mere inches from Ben's. Do you want to know what's real, or do you want to know how to make your technology work? Ben's struggle was plain on his face. He sat back, leaning against the rough rungs of the chair's back. He didn't know what to say, because he didn't know what was honest. Or was it that he knew what he thought they wanted him to say, but was it honest? Ben jumped a little when Charlie touched his arm. Ben, sometimes all we can do is want what is real. We're human. Your human wants what is right in front of you. You're so invested in the business, you can't feel yourself outside it. Now, take a deep breath. Ben inhaled deeply. Go to after it's all said and done. The ferry is a success. You still have all your money and the freedom that goes with it. How does your heart feel? She waited, then whispered. Does life make sense? Ben had followed her to this place without any effort at all. He felt the hunger inside, the yearning he had tried to ignore that refused to be filled with anything. At least with anything, Earthside. The place where curiosity and connection lived, the energetic chaos of flow, of constant, inevitable change. It hit him then, the awareness that life is always shifting. It must shift. Energy cannot be still. It is the nature of the life force to be in constant motion. The idea that there is a place of perfection to get to or hold on to, where did that come from? The realization showed on his face. He looked first at Charlie. Thanks, Charlie, she smiled. He turned to look at Red Fox. Uncle, I do not know who I am. I'm not even sure who I want to be. But I want to learn how to ride the changes. I want to do what it takes to quell this stubbornness inside me. The gods help me. I want to know what's real, not just what I want to be real. Even speaking the words made Ben tremble inside. Beside him, Tara trembled too, thinking of the hologram and the many ways reality shifts shape. Even such a statement showed naivete. Grace and Red Fox exchanged a look. Red Fox spoke again. Are you asking for visions, Ben? He sat up and slapped the table. No, I don't want just pretty pictures. I want to know whether there is such a thing as real power through spiritual practices. I want to know firsthand whether or not it will have any effect at all on my life, or is the whole thing bullshit? Nice stories that we tell ourselves to feel better. Be careful what you ask for, Ben. You ready to have Coyote grab you by the scruff of your neck and shake you silly? You ready to look light and dark in the face and choose one or the other? Ben blanched, but sat up straight. Now or never. Okay, old man, I will make myself ready. How do I do this? Red Fox paused to light the cigarette he had just rolled. Vision Quest. Vision Quest? Where? How? How long? Red Fox blew tobacco smoke right at Ben, inhaled again, then blew into the air as though to clear and bless it. The atmosphere lightened and tingled. 3 days and 3 nights. Fasting. It was what Ben expected, what he knew Kachi had done every year since his 15th birthday. He had heard the stories. Where? In the mountains. I'll take you. Ben knew that also meant that Red Fox would stand guard over him, but not anywhere he could be seen or felt. Tomorrow? Okay, then we all better get some rest. It's close on tomorrow and we leave at first light. Rest? Ben doubted he could relax, much less rest. It turned out he was wrong, though. The welcome darkness closed in as soon as he stretched out on the lumpy sofa.